Good morning and welcome to the 10 a.m. daily weather brief. Looking at our upper level wind profile from our balloon launch this morning, we do see that we have a freezing level around 16,000 feet, 16,600 to be exact. And near the surface, our winds are more northerly in nature, but we do see a slight shift to a more northwesterly heading before moving up further through the column, where we see those winds return to a more northerly direction once again. As for our wind speeds, they do remain in the teens for much of the vertical column. However, we do see a slight lull at 3,000 feet, in which the winds are about 10 knots, and our observed max was at 16,000 feet at 19 knots. Now, pulling up our most recent surface analysis chart for a general overview of the week ahead, we do see that we have a large ridge over the central United States, and that is working to maintain what has been seasonally hot and humid conditions over our area with lowered rain chances. And while most of the area should remain dry for today as a result, we do see a slight chance for a isolated or scattered storm to pop up and move through the area this afternoon, and that's indicated by a couple of the higher resolution models today. However, with that being said, the overall severe risk with this setup does look to remain low. And then looking ahead, we'll see that ridge over the central U.S. slowly move westward early in our week, and that will continue to bring much of what we've been experiencing here with just warm and moist air kind of being evected into our area, and we'll continue along with similar conditions in the days to come until we see some more significant weather come Thursday as that ridge begins to break down, and then we'll see a trough push through our area, and that will bring a cold front through, and that's where our good chances for what should be widespread showers and storms will start to develop and move through the area late in the day and into Friday. And then following that front, we'll get some what could be seen as welcome relief from the July heat. We'll see our highs dropping into the upper 70s and more so pleasant conditions, and that should continue through the weekend and into early next week. That leads us to our 24-hour risk chart, largely unchanged from this morning. Still some color on the board indicating the slight chances of a pop-up shower come this afternoon and into the early evening, although with time moving through the day as we get into those later hours, we should see those chances of anything firing off continue to decrease. And our temperatures for today climbing, currently at 86 degrees and expected to peak around the 90-degree mark, if not the upper 80s. There's also the chance of heat indices reaching that 100-degree mark as it's plenty humid out there, so we'll continue to keep an eye on that. But winds are currently rather light and continuing to decrease, or forecasted to continue decreasing throughout the day before we see some pretty stagnant motion later this evening and into the early hours of tomorrow. And slight changes on the short-term risk chart here. On Tuesday, can anticipate mostly sunny conditions with some clouds building in the afternoon and a very slight chance of an afternoon or shower. Those probs have dropped down from earlier where we had a little bit of color on the board, and we can anticipate a high in the low 90s. For Tuesday night, mostly clear and a low of 76, and then Wednesday, similar to Tuesday, mostly sunny, clouds building in the afternoon, and then a very slight chance of an afternoon shower or thunderstorm and a high of 90. And that brings us to our 7-day forecast here. Tuesday and Wednesday pretty similar to what we're experiencing today, with that cold front moving through on Thursday and through Friday, bringing our rain chances, in which should be what could be the chance for some pretty excessive rainfall at times, and then moving on to Saturday and Sunday, those rain chances die off, partly to mostly cloudy, slight chance of something firing up in the afternoon, and then Sunday looks to remain more so dry, and Monday, again, just a slight chance of something firing off in the afternoon. Our temperatures will be warm hot at the beginning portion of our week, and then, as mentioned earlier, they start to die down into the upper 70s, so that's a nice relief from what we've been experiencing. But other than Thursday and Friday, should be a rather nice week ahead. And that is going to conclude the 7-day outlook, and I will be back tomorrow at 8:15 with the daily weather operations brief. Have a good day.